Hey guys, Bobby here, and in this new video series, you're going to learn why you might be putting in more effort than the girls you're meeting, why they might not take you seriously as a guy that they would date or a guy they'd have sex with, and why you might never have the power in a relationship with a girl that you're really attracted to. You're also going to discover the number one thing a woman must believe about you if she'll ever take you seriously as a guy that she would date. You'll discover how to make sure you always come across as that high value, high status man, as well as 8 specific low value traits and 8 high value traits. And as I go through them, I want you to sort of mentally check mark which of these traits you're currently displaying. Okay, for the past 10 years, I've been helping guys get more dates, sleep with more girls, and even seduce that one specific girl they really want. After working with hundreds of guys who paid me thousands of dollars to work with them individually, and hundreds of thousands of guys who've gone through my programs now in over 102 countries. My programs have been translated into 6 different languages. And I'm going to boil it all down. I'm going to boil it all down to one sentence, and I want you to write this sentence down. A woman must believe you're socially above her. So a woman must believe you're socially above her. Now, there's 2 important points to what I just said. First is the word believe. See, it's all perception, right? There's no official ranking system. There's no stamp on your back that says you're a 4 and she's an 8. It's all her perception of you. And perception can change very quickly for good or for bad. Now, if you ever met a girl, right, and things started off really, really good with her, she seemed really attracted to you, she was into you, the relationship was going good, it was moving forward. And then all of a sudden, it's like she pulls away. It's kind of like she put her foot on the brakes, almost like she wouldn't allow herself to become attracted to you. It's almost just like she wanted to put some distance between you and her and sort of just cut things off, right? When that happens, it's almost always because her initial impression of your social value and your social power was a lot higher than it turned out to be. And as she got to know you, your value in her eyes started slipping, started diminishing. Now, the second thing that's important about this phrase, a woman must believe you're socially above her, is we're talking about social power. We're not talking about popularity, right? Popularity, who has more Facebook friends, who gets invited to more parties, we're not talking about that. We're talking about who has the social power. My friend Pete, this Asian guy, is very, very popular, right? Very, very socially popular. Everybody loves Pete. He goes out every night of the week. He very rarely pays for drinks. He doesn't have to wait in line. He knows everybody when he goes out. He's very socially popular, but he has no social power. Now, I want you to write this word down as well. And the word is socially subservient. Socially subservient means you're less respected and you're deemed less important. And it's a direct result of specific behavior, specific actions, and specific traits that you give off that make you socially subservient in your social scene. When 2 people start talking, right, or when 2 people get into a relationship, one person always has the power. That balance of power always tips in their favor. Now, when that happens, when one person takes on the role of high status celebrity and one person takes on the role of the fan, right? So in any social circle, you've got the high status celebrities and you got the fans. Now, what happens, unfortunately, is most guys within their social scene take on the role of low status fan. And because of this, they're almost never taken seriously by the high quality girls within their social scene. Point blank, ask yourself this. Do celebrities ever really want to hook up with their fans? Of course not. They want to be with other high value, high status, and socially powerful people. Now, being a high status celebrity within your scene just means that people place a lot of value on being with you. If you don't have the power and the respect with the girls that you're meeting, if they don't seem to be placing a lot of value on being with you, if they're not making time for you, right? If they're not taking you seriously as a man, it's because more than likely you're seen as a fan amongst the people you hang out with within your social scene. Now, being a high status celebrity just means that people place an enormous amount of value on you. Now, if you look around any social scene, and when I say social scene, it could be a work environment, a school environment. I mean, this seriously goes all the way back to high school, where some guys, for whatever reason, had a celebrity-like status, where other guys, no matter what they did, they were seen as just being low value. So what I've got for you in this 3-part video series is I'm gonna walk you through the fastest and most effective way to becoming a high-value, socially powerful celebrity within your scene. Now, when this happens, you become the guy that women choose. When you get into a relationship with a girl, you always have that power. That balance of power tips in your favor. More specifically though, what I'm going to teach you is specific traits, specific attitudes, and behaviors that lead to value, status, and power. And it all starts with this: who you are versus what you do. Who you are versus what you do. Write that down. Who you are versus what you do is the cornerstone of everything I'm going to talk about. When you go out, when you're in your scene, whether you're just meeting somebody or whether it's a group of people that you've known for a while, there's 2 categories. There's who you are and there's what you do. What you do is, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna say some funny stuff to this girl, or I'm gonna flirt with her, or I'm gonna put on my best striped shirt and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna attract her, or I'm gonna try to get her phone number, or I'm gonna ask her out, and I'm gonna do this, right? Or I'm gonna do that. That's what you do. Who you are is what people within your scene surmise about you. It's your reputation. It's what she notices about you. It's what she hears about you from other people. It's when she's watching you, how you react to other people, and it's how other people react to you. Who you are is way more important than what you do. And I want you to write this down too. Who you are equals the level of status and value the women in your life perceive you to have. Like I said, who you are is way more important than what you do, because if who you are is broken, if who you are is low value, low status within your scene, no matter what you do, you're always going to be struggling. Even if you're able to initially attract a woman, you're going to struggle to keep her attracted because, like I said earlier, her perception of you, it might be up here, but it's gonna change as she gets to know who you really are, and it's gonna be impossible to keep her interest. When she notices that your value and your status and your power within a scene is low, it's going to drop. Unless the girls you're dating or the girls you want are even lower than you. But most guys, most of us want those girls that are high quality girls. And to get those girls, you've got to be seen, you've got to be surmised, you've got to be talked about. And when she notices you, right? When she notices you, the way you react and the way people react to you all must come from a place of a socially powerful persona. Now, the first step in moving from a low value guy, low status role, low status fan within your social scene to that high status celebrity role within your social scene is understanding the core differences, the core attitudes, the core behaviors, the core traits that make up a socially powerful, high-value person versus that low-value person, right? That person with no power within their scene. So let's make a list. Let's make a chart of high value versus low value. Right? So let's make a list and let's talk about the two values. When we talk about low value guy, let's talk about some of the characteristics that may pop into your head when you think of low value guys, right? Low value guys tend to be very try hard. When you watch them, they always seem to be trying very hard. And a lot of that is because their mentality is, because I'm low value, right? And when you're low value, we all kind of know where we stand on that social totem pole. They think, I have to do a lot, right? It all goes back to that mentality of what you do. They focus everything on what to do, what they do. Because of that, they appear very, very try hard. High value people, they make it seem effortless. Right? They make it seem effortless. If you've ever seen a guy who just, let's just say he has charisma, right? The reason we use that word charisma is because they make it seem very natural. They never seem to be trying very hard. The girls seem to come to them without them really having to work for it. And a lot of times you don't really understand why. You look at it and you don't really know why. You're kind of like, what did he do, right? What did he do? How did he get her? He made it look effortless. Second is, high value people tend to have presence. Low value people tend to be plain. Right? Presence versus plain. A way that I like to think about it is, if you go to a parking lot and you look around, you'll see, right? Immediately what will catch your eyes is the Teslas, the Mercedes, the Porsches, the Maseratis. And then the rest of the parking lot is filled with Hondas and Toyotas and Fords and, Chryslers and a million other types of cars. And there's nothing wrong with those other cars, right? They're reliable, they're safe, they're fine, but they don't have the presence of the other ones. High value people in a group, in a room, right? If you walk into a room, something about them immediately catches your attention. The same way that a Tesla or a Porsche or a Mercedes catches your attention. Next, high value people tend to be demanding, and low value people take a back seat. So we got demanding and we got back seat. And what I mean by that is, high value people tend to want what's best. They tend to treat themselves well. They tend to demand respect from people. Low value people, though, they take a back seat. And using the back seat as an example, right? When you're getting in a car or you're in a group of people, the low value guy tends to let the high value guy sit in the front seat to take shotgun, right? He kind of sits in the back. He automatically goes in the back seat and just like, all right, you can have front. They have that mentality of, I'm going to give the other people more respect or more power. I'm not going to take it. The high value guy, he takes the power. Next is an edge and soft, right? High value guys tend to have an edge. That edge comes from being that sort of R-rated character, right? You never really know where they're coming from. There's that scene in the movie Swingers, right, where he talks about, you want to be that R-rated character, right? You want to be that R-rated character, not the character in the PG movie. Low-value guys, they tend to be the character in that PG movie. They're very nice, they're very likable, but they don't have those claws. They don't have that killer instinct that high-value guys have. And to get to that level of status, you need that killer instinct. A lot of this is because it's because he's demanding, right? Because he's ambitious. He wants more. Whereas the low-value guy, he's just a little bit soft. Next, high-value guys tend to be talked about, and low-value guys tend to be boring. What I mean by this is, the high-value guy, he's got so much going on in his life. He's got the presence. He demands a lot. He's got that edge. So people are constantly talking about him. Because they're talking about him, Remember, we live in a celebrity-obsessed culture. The more he's talked about, the more people are sitting around going like, what's he up to? What's he doing? What, did you hear what he did the other night? Or who is he dating, right? When that's going on, his value is going up in their eyes. The low value guy, though, because he lives in a very boring life. He doesn't have the ambition. He doesn't have the drive. He doesn't have, the presence. He doesn't really stand out. Because of that, he's not really talked about. I mean, people don't say bad things about him. They don't say good things about him. He's just kind of there. And even though he's there, and even when they find him attractive, right? Even when he's a good-looking guy, girls might even acknowledge, oh, he's cute, he's good-looking. But because he's not talked about, because he doesn't have that same level of social power as the high-value guy, he's just not thought of, right? Next, the high-value guy tends to be intriguing. The low-value guy tends to be predictable. So let's write intriguing, predictable. High-value guys, because they have so much going on in their lives, because they have this persona, this powerful persona, women always want to know more. They're always looking, for that next reel, right? That next layer for them. It's like he's like an onion, right? And they're peeling away layers and layers, and they're getting to know him more. The low-value guy, though, because he's focused on doing, and he's doing the same thing as all the other low-value guys, he's very predictable. She feels like after a date or after a conversation with this guy, she feels like it's the same guy she went out with 10 times, right? He doesn't stand out. He doesn't have anything to offer. So because of that, she doesn't really have that desire to get to know him more. With this guy, she's always wants to know more. Next, high-value guy embraces his character, and the low-value guy is uncomfortable. So we got character, uncomfortable. So what I mean by this is the high-value guy, he takes on the character of being high status or high value. He walks around and he plays that role. It's almost like he's playing the role of the cool guy, of the powerful guy. He embraces it. And because he embraces it, he looks very comfortable in that role. He actually makes it eventually look effortless. Whereas the low-value guy, he always seems a little awkward, right? He always seems a little uncomfortable because he's trying so hard. He's always thinking about what he's got to do. And even when he's trying to deliver a flirty line or say something demanding respect, he just seems off. He never quite embraces his character. And because of that, women pick up on this, and he's not congruent, right? Whereas the high-value guy, he comes across as very congruent. The low-value guy looks a little incongruent, a little uncomfortable. Finally, the high-value guy has a very sexual persona. The low-value guy comes across as asexual. The interesting thing here, right, is that the high-value guy doesn't really do anything differently. He's not talking about sex more. He's not dressing that much sexier, although he will dress sexier than this guy. There's no doubt about it. This guy has the presence. He knows how to add a little sex appeal to what he's wearing. But it really has nothing to do, with what he's doing or how he's dressing. It has to do with who he is. Because he's got the edge, because he's more demanding, he's focused, he's got that ambition, and because he's talked about by people, because he's intriguing, because he's comfortable in his character, he's comfortable walking around, he doesn't have that nervous, awkward energy, because he never seems to be trying hard, because of all these things, he gives off a very sexual vibe. All these things lead to a high-value person. Now, my goal in the remaining videos is walk you through the process of moving from low value to high value. Now, the first homework assignment that I want you to do is this. Underneath this video, there's a PDF. On that PDF is a chart. It's a high value chart and a low value chart. I want you to take a look at what we're talking about here. And I want you to honestly look at yourself. And I want you to write down where you fit with these high-value traits and where you fit with these low-value traits. Because if you're not dating the quality girls that you want within your scene, your work environment, just, the girls you're running into, if you're losing interest of girls as they get to know you, it's because, as I said, chances are, as they get to know you, your value in their eyes is diminishing. So let's pinpoint, let's start off, right? Exactly, maybe where you're slipping up. A lot of guys are blind to this. A lot of guys don't think about this. It's like a blind spot. We don't see it, right? We don't know it. We don't realize where we're messing up. So step one, let's figure out and let's pinpoint which of these are you guilty of. Now here's the thing. Chances are you're already good at a couple of these, right? Chances are, some of these you've already got. How can you amplify them further? That's what we're going to be going through in the remaining videos. But before we do that, I want to get this crystal clear, right? I want you to become crystal clear in your mind where you stand right now. So remember, what I want you to take from this video is, first off, it's a few things. What did we go over? We said a woman must believe you're socially above her. When you present yourself as being socially subservient or less important than her, you take on the role of a fan in your social scene and in your social world, and you give her the role of the celebrity. Celebrities never want to sleep with their fans. They never want to sleep with their fans. We talked about the idea that who you are is more important than what you do. And we also just went over the differences between high value guys and low value guys. Now, if you can relate to this sort of stuff and you struggle to be seen as having high value, of being taken seriously as a girl, as a guy that a girl would date or a guy that a girl would have sex with, then I have a 6-week training class that I think you're going to benefit from.